And now I'd like to introduce the president of DSF, Abby Hemani.
Got to lower that a little. Thanks, Jeff. So first off, I would like to give a really big thank you, and I hope you will join me in giving a really big thank you to all of our sponsors tonight: Insys, Turing, Bungie, Zogenix, GW Pharma, Transgenomic, Nutricia, and all of the families and friends that have sponsored this event. We could not be here without you. Thank you so much. And now it's my privilege to introduce to you this year's gala honoree, Susan Axelrod. Susan is an inspiration. She is first and foremost a mother to 2 grown sons and to a beautiful daughter, Lauren, who has spent much of her life battling a catastrophic epilepsy very similar to Dravet. Lauren started having seizures when she was 7 months old, and for the next 18 years, Susan devoted herself to Lauren's care. Lauren tried dozens of medications, special diets, and other kinds of therapies, but nothing could stop her seizures, and nothing could prevent the accompanying cognitive and developmental impairment. This is an experience that rings all too familiar for those of us who are Dravet parents. And what comes with it is a feeling of extreme helplessness. But Susan never let this helplessness defeat her. Eventually, when Lauren was 19, the family and their doctors found a successful treatment regimen for Lauren. But Susan didn't stop there. It wasn't enough that Lauren's seizures were controlled. Susan wasn't going to be satisfied until she could guarantee that no other family would have to go through what her family went through, until no other child would have to suffer the way that Lauren suffered. So in 1998, Susan and 2 other epilepsy moms formed Citizens United for Research in Epilepsy, or CURE. At that time, there were no other organizations that were devoted to raising money for epilepsy research. Epilepsy was still very much hidden, the kind of condition that people didn't even talk about, let alone fundraise or promote research for. But through CURE, Susan changed that. Since its inception, CURE has raised more than $30 million and has funded more than 150 different research projects. But perhaps even more importantly, by promoting CURE, Susan has also truly changed the way in which our society views epilepsy. Susan and her husband David went public. Tough as it may have been, they spoke openly about Lauren's epilepsy and its impact on their family to the media. They gave interviews to mainstream newspapers and magazines, and they appeared on popular TV programs like the Today Show and 60 Minutes. And thanks in large part to their openness, epilepsy is no longer something that people keep hidden in the shadows. It's a medical condition like any other, one that people talk about freely, and one that the medical and research community is now truly invigorated to explore, to understand, to treat, and hopefully someday soon to cure. Susan is a wonderful mother, and she is a wonderful advocate. But that's not all. I can also tell you from my own personal experience that Susan is a wonderful person. You see, I met Susan by coincidence. When my daughter Nora was 17 months old, when she'd been seizing for about a year, when she had just been in the ICU 3 times in the past 3 months, I was lucky enough to get a break, to go on a brief vacation to Puerto Rico. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for that. And as luck would have it, Susan, David, and Lauren happened to be on vacation at the very same time at the very same hotel. I'd seen Susan talk about Lauren on 60 Minutes a few months earlier, and I knew exactly who she was. Never one for shyness, I waltzed right over to her and introduced myself. I told her Nora's story, And for the next 2 hours, Susan took me under her wing. She shared her war stories. She introduced me to Lauren. She basically gave up a good chunk of her much-needed vacation to help guide another epilepsy mom. Because for Susan, there is no vacation from epilepsy. She is 100% committed all of the time to improving the lives of the 50 million people around the globe who suffer from epilepsy and their families. Her commitment is unparalleled, her warmth is genuine, and her achievements are inspirational. So please help me to welcome and congratulate our 2015 Gala honoree and a woman that I am proud to call a friend and a role model, Susan Axelrod.